Hey, lady. Welcome to your reading. Excited to share with you again. I was just realizing that it's been almost 2 months since the last one. It's strange because it feels like not that long ago. I guess 2 months isn't that long, but it does feel long. I don't know. Anyway, time is weird, huh? Um, you had mentioned wanting to that you had liked the Fountain Tarot, and I honestly am in a season where I'm working with my Wildwood Tarot deck, and it felt most appropriate for your reading. So I hope that's okay. This is what that guy looks like. The Wildwood Tarot. It's earth-based spirituality, so it is based on the year of the wheel, which is pagan spirituality. Um, I almost hate to use the word pagan because it sounds like, I don't know, I equate it with like heathen, like that word, and um, I guess those are both just have become really derogatory terms in like a Judeo-Christian world. So but it is pagan. It's earth-based spirituality. So you're gonna see that a lot of the cards are very have a lot like very natural like landscape. They have a lot of animals. We're gonna be utilizing a lot of symbolism, which tarot does naturally, but it's especially true with this deck. And one of the reasons I like it so much is because it's complex. It's got a lot of layers to it, and what I've found is that I'm not very traditional with tarot in terms of memorizing the meanings of the cards. I do know there are certain themes that go through, and I like to honor those, but I also like to use the imagery to guide me, and to whatever sticks out is usually like what I trust is as spirit. Wanting to come through. So, what I really like about this too is then if like I have an idea of something, then I can also pull out the book because it's a really complex and amazing guidebook. And there's usually something there, one or two more things that stick out that I like to share with people. Plus, it's based on the year of the wheel, so it does give a little bit of timeline and direction in that way to some of the readings. So we'll see how this goes. As usual, take what resonates with you, leave behind what doesn't. Of course, I encourage you to have a journal or a piece of paper and a pen handy. And I'm not sure if I explained this in the last reading, but um, write down, don't be so concerned about what I say. Instead, write down what you hear, and or any image or sounds or um, I always say song lyrics, but I really do think we attach song lyrics to memories and things like that. So that might be something to share as well. And um, and the reason I say that is because I consider myself a vessel for the message, and I am doing the best I can um, to translate what I'm sensing or feeling into words. And but I really believe that spirit works in a magical way to make those words make to allow you to hear what it is you need to hear from the words that I say. And I don't know if you've ever done that before where you've like heard a message and you're like, "Oh yeah, this is what was said." And then you go back and you're like, "Actually, this is what was said word for word." A good friend of mine, we went to our first tarot readings together a few years ago. 2 years ago? Yeah, 2.5 years ago. We went to our first live tarot readings together, and we recorded them. And she initially heard like dancing with your lover, and was like something that she desired. And then when she went back and listened to it recently, the tarot reader had actually said dancing in the kitchen with your lover, and that just brought on this whole other layer for her of like, oh yeah. So like initially what she heard was different than what then she heard again. So it's kind of also another argument for reviewing your readings over time and seeing if you can pick up on new things, or if re-listening to it gives you some perspective on what's already happened as well. Okay, so that's enough of an intro. I've shuffled the cards. I've meditated on you as I did that. I'm just gonna start drawing and we'll see what happens here. It's so funny. I shuffle the crap out of these and I still see similar cards popping through. What I've taken that to mean is that there are themes going on kind of cosmically, and or I'm attracting similar types of people, which is also very possible. All right, so let me show you what we got going on here. We're doing the traditional Celtic cross spread. Feel free to pause if you want to take a good long look at the cards. Of course, we're going to go through them together, as you know. The three cards we've got here running parallel to me represent you. From left to right, we have near, most recent past, present, and near future. And I like to start with the present. I think that's really important. No time like the present. We have the Three of Bows, which is fulfillment. And I like, really, the thing that strikes me the most about this, there's two things. One, it's kind of a hooded figure. But then it's also got the coiled snakes, which in like Hinduism and like that kind of ancient traditions, those coiled snakes represent the masculine and feminine working in harmony with one another. And there's also something about like raising the hand. It's almost like there's kind of this deep sense of like, I got this. All right, I got this. And it's interesting that, yeah, it's almost like this person has stopped on the path and turned to face someone and just been like, I got this. I'm good. I'm just kind of getting this feeling of like taking care of business. And there's an idea, like a sense of like deflecting the haters. Like, chill, I'm fine, I have my bow, I'm on my path, I've got this, leave me be. It's kind of like coming to a place of enough is enough. I don't need your input. I don't need your direction. I don't need you to tell me how to do this or what to do. I'm my own person now. Bye. And I see that in the weaving in and out of the snakes, and in that like this masculine coming up and saying like, nope, enough is enough, I've got this. And so really balancing out the feminine nurturing side, the masculine like protector is like evening things out a bit and essentially carrying you right now. In the recent past, we have the Three of Arrows, which is jealousy. And you see the arrows there stuck in the heart. Yeah, it's funny, the bows and arrows. You got a lot of bows and arrows here. Bows correspond with they correspond with the wands in the traditional tarot, which is the more like spiritual, ethereal thing that's going on. Jealousy, matters of the heart, right? excuse me, I take that back. The arrows are the 3 of arrows, is what the jealousy is referring to, and arrows actually correspond with swords, which is like communication and um, words, things like that. So, recent past, there, uh, as a feeling of your heart being pierced and set on fire. I mean, 3 of arrows slash 3 of swords is one of the more like piercing, prominent cards. It's pretty, generally pretty literal. Probably something happened that caused you to feel jealous. Like, that's the only thing I can. It's really a deep sense of, it's actually a deeper sense of betrayal. That the jealousy is not surface. Um, it's more of a like a betrayal of confidences, and that evoked jealousy, but jealousy isn't the primary emotion. It's more the sense of like your heart being stabbed. I know, not so pleasant. Okay, near future, 10 of bows, responsibility. Um, there's a lot of work coming up, and it's good that you're in a place where the masculine feels empowered, because you're going to need that moving forward. The card overlaying these 3 is the 6 of vessels, which is reunion. And it serves as the bridge or the barrier. I would say in this case it's a bridge. And what's fascinating about it is you've got all these bows and arrows going on, which are weaponry, right? And a vessel is something that carries. It's a service piece. It's also in in this tarot deck, emotions. It's working with emotions. Anytime you've got water and cups present, you've got emotions. And what I'm reminded of here is how important your emotions are through all this process. So you've got a tremendous like amount of stuff going on, broken heart, having to deflect the haters, taking on more responsibility, like really accepting your path and moving on it. And those are really important but also emotional things to be working through. And I think the 6 of vessels, with it being a bridge, it serves as this reminder that you need to address your emotions in all of this. You need to hold your emotional body tenderly. And so allow yourself to feel what you feel. Yes, put up your hand to deflect the haters, but then take a minute and go, okay, hey, good job. Like, I know that was a little tough. Like, I'm stroking my heart chakra here. It's usually where our emotions are. We feel like our emotions are housed there. It's actually the heart chakra is like love. But anyway, honor your emotions. Okay. Above and below, we have the hopes slot and the fear slot. And in our hopes category, we have the 4 of bows. And I love this card. So we've got all of our women dancing around. And there's this like just joyful spiritual connection between them, freedom. And you can see the card says celebration. But there's this sense of the feminine, your feminine is ready to break out and connect. And it wants to connect with other feminine energies. But more than that, its deeper hope is to have a sense of freedom, to allow for celebration to occur. And so that might feel like conflict. There may be some conflict around that for you because you, uh, what you're celebrating may not feel celebratory in the eyes of the people around you. But for you, there is this underlying sense of celebration. There is this underlying sense of freedom and joy, and you want to be able to express that. And so, what I would really encourage you to do, to honor that hopeful part of yourself, um, is to find little ways to do that. Is to pull in a couple girlfriends that you know and trust, and just say, "This is what we're celebrating. Please help me. I would like you to be present to celebrate this this change that's going on in my life because it's important to me. It's freeing for me. Whatever it is that you're really feeling like this is bringing up for you, bring those people together. Have a wine night. Maybe turn on some music, dance in the living room. Maybe fucking go out dancing. Okay, this it's really easy to get lost in what others and how others think you should be going about something. And especially if you're at the end of a situation, um, which I know you are coming to that at some point, um, there may be pressure to mourn only. And the thing is, like, even with endings and transitions, they're bittersweet, right? Like, change can be really good and healthy and exciting. And there are moments of sadness and grief. Like, it's almost like you don't know when the tide is going to turn, like when the winds are going to shift and you're going to feel the other thing. Right now, though, I get the sense that you're stifling the celebration part. You're stifling the joy part of this transition. And where your hope is to be able to express that. And I say, go for it. Go for it. Um, it's just as important to celebrate the change as it is to mourn the loss. Okay, in your fears category, you've got the Four of Vessels. You can see boredom is the word here. Yeah, there's almost kind of this listlessness to the water even flowing out of those buckets and into the other buckets. It's just kind of like wah, wah. So in terms of fear, are you afraid you're gonna get bored? Is that like, are you afraid that your alone time is going to lead to boredom? And then maybe you don't know how to sit with that? Let's see what the book says a little bit here. Hmm. Okay. The universe responds favorably to a decisive forward momentum, while boredom leaves a person in a state of inaction. There are many reasons for feeling disenchanted or trapped in life. The causes of the malaise and the feeling of being weathered by routine or beaten down by conflict are common. But in the end, it is from ourselves that the first sparks of momentum must emanate. Emotionally frozen or disconnected people become black holes of despair. That's what it is. You're afraid of that, aren't you? Yeah. Um, so this is where this reunion card is especially important, right? You talk about being emotionally disconnected. Um, Reunioning, bringing all those pieces of your internal life back together and keeping them together is going to be important. So I've experienced this as well, where I've been in the midst of grief and it feels so deep and so dark that I wonder if I'm going to be able to crawl out of the hole. But I will say that feeling the deepness, feeling the darkness of the grief is actually a really good sign that you're not disconnecting, that you're not emotionally frozen, because you are feeling all of the emotions. So if that is a fear of yours, let it rest and trust that every time you feel something, big, small, happy, sad, mournful, joyful, whatever, you are not going into an emotional wasteland, okay? You are doing everything to honor your emotions and to feel all the things you need to feel. Okay, I need to look up something here real quick. I'm going to look up, I tend to use the Celtic spread to my own liking. But what I'm really feeling called to do right now is to look up the actual spread and what the cards mean. Come on. Okay. Okay. So, according to this one that I just found, and I like it, these cards really seem to fit that. Um, so in this place we have that Queen of Bows, the hare, and this is your approach to the situation. Um, of course, it's bows, right? It's an evolution of bows, lots of bows, lots of bows. Let me read actually what they say about the bows here. Okay, so the suit of bows is destiny. This is a quote by William Jennings Bryant. Destiny is not a matter of chance; it is a matter of choice. It is not a thing to be waited for; it is a thing to be achieved. The position on the wheel. So this is the year of the wheel I was mentioning. Bows falls in the season of summer, moving from Beltane through midsummer to Lammas. We just celebrated Beltane about a month ago. It was with the equinox. The element is fire, and the associations are creativity, development, enterprise, science, philosophical and esoteric pursuits, skillful ability fueled by will. So lots going on in the bows. Lots of that for you. And what always strikes me about this picture is the hare's eyes. Okay, and although she's climbing on her own very skillfully and strong, she has her ears perked and her eyes wide. And what it really symbolizes to me is that your approach here is one of like, it's like wariness and awareness bordering on fear. And almost like, it's almost like you don't trust your environment. You don't trust the path that you're on, and you don't trust what's around you. You've got just kind of this like, always got your ears perked and your eyes wide, your senses trying to pick up on every little thing. But here's the reality. This is the card that falls into your environment. The Ace of Arrows, the breath of life. Okay, this is actually where you are. This is what it seems like where you are, where you've got this dark, cloudy, like eerie terrain. But here's the truth of where you are. Okay, the only smoke is coming from this breath of life, which is not even really smoke. It's like a wind kind of a thing. So in other words, like, practice if you can seeing the world around you for what it actually is and not for what your fear tells you it is. Okay? Um, and this might just mean taking a minute to sit outside and stare at a pretty flower and be like, okay, I'm safe. This is a pretty flower. I can breathe, right? And then you get up and you go on, and maybe you do that again and you stare at a tree, or you just close your eyes and you feel the breeze on your skin, or you lay in bed with really comfy pillows and you allow yourself to be held and comforted. Whatever you can do to remind yourself that you are being um, taken care of and ushered along this path, um, do that. Okay. Um, the next card in this spread is what you need to know, and it's the World Tree. And that just kind of leads into what I was just saying, leads right into this. And that is that, like, the entire universe is working to support you at this point. All right. Um, I want to read a little bit about the World Tree, actually. Let's see. You've got a lot going on here, girl. It's good stuff. It's kind of stumping me a bit, but I don't know if that's not really the right word. It's just I'm just being directed to rest more on the literal translations of the cards, and that's totally fine. The Great World Tree marks the end of the wanderer's journey. All four seasons are represented in the branches of the tree, and at its base is a labyrinth of the kind found in many parts of the world and dating to prehistoric times. It's the end of one journey for the wanderer and the beginning of another. The wanderer began the journey around the wheel with an innocent and childlike curiosity, but the subtle, growing process experienced on the way has brought inner gifts of wisdom and awareness. The final step is to follow the path through the living maze and enter the heart of the World Tree to become one with the wholeness of the universal mind. No big deal, right? What may be found beyond the door is both individual and universal, for encompassed within the branches of the World Tree are the four seasons of the cycle of life. Through the restful healing of winter to the fertile freshness of spring, the power and joy of summer, and the wisdom and maturity of autumn, the cosmic light of universal understanding shines from the heart of the tree, creating a bridge to the source of all consciousness and life. So, reading points. The universe and all its blessings are available to everyone who seeks knowledge and wisdom with a sincere heart. So, in other words, you may feel like you're wandering through unknown territory that's hostile and requiring you to be on your guard the whole time, but you're actually being led to the heart of universal wisdom. So open your eyes, pay attention, all right? Synchronicities are going to happen to you, and they are not coincidences, okay? So pay attention to a song that you're singing. Like, I oftentimes have a song that comes to mind, and I'm like, why is this coming to mind? Pay attention to it. What is it bringing up for you? Is it connected to a memory? Do you then hear that song somewhere out, like in your car or in a store or, at someone else's house? Like, um, synchronicities, right? Things that look like coincidences, but they aren't. And I think if you give them a little bit more, if you give them a second look, you're going to find deeper layers to it. It's going to really bring up some good stuff for you. It's already accessible to you. Here's the thing. It's all the wisdom, all of that I just described. the cards are saying it's already accessible to you. You're already there. So all you need to do is open your eyes. You don't need to go out looking. You need to open your eyes where you are versus going and seeking for it. Okay, there's difference. Because you're already there. Already where you need to be. And the conclusion card is the Page of Arrows, which is the wren. I love this little guy. Look at him. Surrounded by snow. A sweet little bird. Wrens are incredibly, I'm not sure if you know much about wrens, but they are incredibly durable. They can survive so many things. And their position on the wheel is moving from spring equinox to Beltane. So let me read you the suit of arrows and what that's about, since you have mostly arrows and bows in your spread here. And here's a quote from Albert Einstein. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Okay, position of the wheel, period of spring, moving from Imbolc through the spring equinox toward Beltane. And the element is air. So it's like arrows come first and then bows, all right? The associations are creative intellect, conceptual dreams, strategy, projected wishes, communication, ambition, cunning, being of the mind. All right, Page of Arrows. Ooh, sad. Druids kept wrens as totem animals of augury, which I don't know what that means, and prophecy, and ritually sacrificed them on St. Stephen's Day, which is December 20th. That's sad. Okay. Study and application brings wisdom and understanding, which can be applied to most situations. Your youth and determination will carry you forward, and your nascent skills will bring you to a dynamic realization. All right, questions. How can you engage flexibly with the situation? What gives you the necessary bravado to face this challenge? And what do you need to learn to overcome? What is the mystery at the heart of the matter? I'm sure that's annoying because it just brought up more questions than answers. What I was saying about the wren, though, is that it's an incredibly durable little bird. It survives all the seasons, and so I'm actually not getting that that's the final conclusion. I got that I should draw one more card, so I'm going to do that here for you. Two more. All right. We got the Three of Stones, which is creativity. Which arrows is also associated with creativity. Sorry, I swear they street sweep like every day here. The suburbs. Okay, and then the Five of Bows, which is empowerment. And it's an interesting penis. Sorry, that's what I went to. So what I love about this card is I love how she's clinging to the rock. And there's almost a sense of her like drawing inspiration up through the rocks of the earth. Like really connecting with the earth and letting it empower her, right? Five of Bows. And so this is the true conclusion. The wren, the Three of Stones, the Five of Bows, that you are a survivor, but more than that, you are this creative and empowered force. And the more that you remind yourself that, the more you'll live into that. The reality is that's just who you are. And so you don't need to go seeking it. You don't need to go read books or do whatever, listen to videos or whatever. But the truth is, like, it's already there. So do what you need to do to bring it up and out of you. Okay? Don't worry about having to cultivate it. It's just ready to be born within you. And it's okay to step out into that. It's okay to step out into that. Test your wings, little Wren. Test your wings, and don't let yourself fly. Okay. All right, that's all I have for you, my dear. Please feel free to message me with any questions, concerns, comments that you have. As always, thank you for letting me share. Such a blessing. And I got to talk to Connie on the phone a few weeks ago. She's wonderful. I can see why you guys are friends. Powerhouse, that one. Spend some time with her. Let her, like, empowering energy, like, just soak in it for a day or two, you know? Maybe she's one of the ones you bring into your celebration. Have some wine, like, um, yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to plan your life for you. Anyway, what I was trying to say was that I appreciate you introducing her to me. And I've also done a reading for her sister. So, such a beautiful gift. Thank you for sharing. As always, take care. Many blessings. Namaste.